What is up, folks? It is Terry, the creator, with Quasi-quirky Creations. We are staying local. Let's navigate it. The 16 scams that you need to avoid when you visit Las Vegas, especially since stuff is opening back up, tourism is popping, and we want you guys to come here. Come and have a good time. You've arrived in Vegas after a year of solitude and seclusion, and you're just ready to have a good time. The first scam is right down there. Taxis. You see, what taxis do is they do a thing called long hauling, and that means that instead of just taking you directly to your location, your hotel, wherever it may be on the Strip or down in Fremont, what they do is they'll drive around a few extra blocks and rack up the rates, so that way you have to pay more. They ultimately get more money. Now, taxis are already overpriced, and especially in tourist cities, you're going to have an extra high bill when they start driving you around half of the town. Take a Lyft, take an Uber. It's going to save you a lot of money, and it's going to get you there faster. You got your Uber, and you politely ask to make a stop off here at the famous Las Vegas sign. This is where you're going to find another scam that you should avoid. You see, photographers will camp out here, and then they'll ultimately end up charging people for the photos they take. They aren't employees, they don't work for anybody but themselves, and the only thing that they can really take is tips. So if they take your picture, you don't have to pay them. I suggest just finding somebody else to do it, or get yourself a handy selfie stick and take your own photo. So you avoided the first two. You took an Uber, you didn't pay that photographer even though they told you you had to. You got to your hotel, checked in, set your bags aside, and you want to go hit the Strip. Let me show you what scams you're going to see down here. Well, I'm on the trek to see if I can find some of these scams, scam artists, scammers. I'm going to talk about two scams that I will definitely not be looking for, because one's illegal and one is just really dirty. And dirty like it's a dirty thing to do, not like dirty whatever, you know what I mean. So the first scam you're gonna find usually at like the hotel bar, or sometimes they call it the center bar, but you'll be in the gambling area and it'll be located by one of the bar locations. And what you'll see is a very pretty individual dressed to the T by themselves. The thing that makes these individuals scam artists is that they label themselves as escorts. That's how they, I guess, get away with it. But what they're really trying to do is procure a gentleman, buy a drink or two, you'll go up to your room, and then they will ask you to freshen up or ask for payment prior to services. And then once they have that, either of those things, if you do freshen up, they're just going to ransack your room, your wallet, your stuff, take everything you can, and then they're going to be out of there before you get out of the bathroom. Or they're going to take your money and just leave. Because at that point, you have committed a crime by procuring services that are illegal in Las Vegas, and there's nothing you can do about it. You've just been taken. So stay away from those folks. So the next game we're going to talk about, you see behind me, this side, probably, Mickey and Minnie Mouse. These are street performers. Now, street performers are not hired by anybody. They work for themselves, and really all they do is stand out here on the street. The scam is that they will ask for money prior to taking the picture. If they don't ask for money prior to taking the picture, they will demand money after they take the picture. They don't work for a casino, they don't work for the city, they work for themselves. In fact, what they have to do, at least up on Fremont Street, is they have to get a street performer's permit. And on that permit, it states that the only thing that they can accept is tips. So they can't take a picture, or you can't take a picture with them and then have them demand a certain amount of money before or after. And most of them are pretty scary. Now, you might find some showgirls which may be appealing to the eye, but it's the same thing. The next game you need to watch out for is called a date and ditch. They will talk you into taking you to somewhere really nice, like some of the celebrity restaurants. They'll rack up a bill, and then they will excuse themselves to use the restroom once they are done, and they just won't return. Tons of tools that they can use, you know, manipulators, to get you to buy something for them. Okay, so I'm here at Bally Square now, and this is where you're going to find another version of street scams. And these come in the form of people that claim to be part of a religious group, whether it's monks or preachers. We have a musician, I guess you could call it that.
No, you're safe because if you can get caught up to an ounce of
Yikes. It's so good. Ow! That is really hot. It's almost like the sun is out. It's still hot. Alright, so here's the next scam. Behind me, you see Gordon Ramsay's Fish and Chips. What people often get wrong with these places is that they think Gordon Ramsay or, what's the other guy's name? Johnny Flay? Jimmy Flay? Jake Flay? I don't know, the guy that ends with Flay. They think that these, like, famous chefs are working at these places. These celebrity restaurants, they're not there. You're not going to see them. They might stop in for a visit every once in a while, but the difference between these celebrity restaurants and, like, actual, you know, celebrities is that musicians, artists, performers will come to Vegas and they'll do what's called a residency, where they stay here for, you know, 2 or 3 months. They stay in the hotel and they do their show. Whereas restaurants like this, they just put up a sign and then, you know, you guys go there and eat their food. All right, this here, this is the high roller. This is a thing that I think is a scam. It's basically just a really slow-moving giant Ferris wheel. At night, it's about $34 to sit in there with a group of other people that you have to ride with. If you want to get a drink card, that's an extra $10, but it's not really worth it, because in a half an hour, I mean, unless you're champing them, you know, double fisting, you're not really going to be doing that many drinks. All right, since it's Vegas, I needed some AC. It's getting hot out. Pro tip, if you come here, bring some Gold Bond, help you out. All right, man, since we're talking about scams, let's talk about gambling for a second. You can win. You can win. You see, yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard the phrase, the house always wins, and there's no argument to that. House advantage. And what that means is that they've taken, what that means is over a period of time, usually they use 10 years, no matter how much you gamble, you will never win more money than you put in. If you have like a table game where you win something like double, triple, quadruple your money, usually what casino resorts will do was they will feature you, right? They will upgrade your room. They'll give you an extra day. They will do something to keep you in the casino longer, so that way they can win that money back. Because now you already got that rush, right? So they'll do anything to keep you on the casino floor, so you continue to gamble. So if you guys are going to do that, you know, just be reasonable about it and know that you're probably going to lose. I've been looking for a while, but I am disappointed. 2 more scams you might find on this trip. First, you're going to have the religious folks I was trying to show you over in the Bally's Court or whatever it is. Not there today. I don't know, maybe I'm down here too early. I mean, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Church is out. What are you guys doing? But what happens with these, basically they'll try to give you something and then ask for a donation, right? Almost demand a donation. It's very similar to street performers, but in my opinion, the street performers are probably doing better. A fairly new scam after the events of 2020 is that of convenience fees at restaurants. Now, this is similar to the resort fee that I spoke about earlier. This is kind of a way for restaurants to kind of justify recouping some of the losses that they had after all of the loss in 2020. You know, a lot of the restaurants have gotten shut down, clubs have gotten shut down or switched over into something else, and people are trying to make it back. So if you're going to go out and eat, try to be a little inquisitive before you sit down. Or if you sit down and you notice something like that on your bill, be sure to ask somebody about it, get some information, try to haggle a little bit, because it's really just them trying to get a little bit of extra money, you know, like the old Ticketmaster service charge that nobody knows what it's for. Artists, maybe musicians, usually is the most common one. They'll try to do a free giveaway. Now, for some reason, they think CDs are still relevant, and they're trying to hand those out. I'm pretty sure you can buy a pack of jump drives for the cost of a CD this day and age. But what they do is they'll hand it to you, and they operate almost exactly like the street performers or the religious folks, is that they'll ask for a donation, looking for a tip. They're looking for something in exchange. Now here's the scam. Quiet. Here's the scam. Most of the time, the CDs are blank. Anything for $1. All right. Bonus scam. For those of you that do want to gamble, don't use these. Don't use them. Hotel ATMs will have a service charge of $8 to $12. Pro tip: if you want to get cash, go to Walgreens, go to CVS, hit up a place where you can take out cash and use it as a debit card, because you won't have the extra fees. So, you've had a wonderful time in Vegas. You've packed your bags and you head down to the lobby to check out. You get your bill and you see, dun dun dun, resort fee. Okay, so there's a lot of mixed information that I've found about the resort fee. Initially, what I was told that it is that there was a tax that was put on casinos, resorts. So, in order to offset that, what they did was they created the resort fee. Now, if you've ever bought a ticket off of Ticketmaster or any of those other websites, a lot of times you'll see the thing called the service fee, and nobody ever knows what the hell it is, what it goes to, what it pays for. Well, that's the same thing as a resort fee. You see, if you're going to come, try and find a place that doesn't have a resort fee. And as you're booking, they do have to list it. You might have to dig a little bit, but you'll find it. Avoid it, and you'll have a better time. So you're in Vegas. I'm assuming you flew here. And I'm assuming most of you know that anytime you buy something at an airport, you get the airport charge. $8 bottle of water. Not much is different at casino shops. I'm gonna show you. Mainly because I forgot my water and I'm really thirsty. So I have to buy one. Ugh. So here's the sad thing. There's actually a line to get into this one. The hook, what they'll usually do is they'll put like a 2-for-1 or a 3-for-2 deal on like 16-ounce beers or 24-ounce beers, but they're still overpriced. Since I'm making my way to the other store, because there's a line at that one, and I know this casino, there's a bigger store, I'll talk to you a little bit more about House Advantage. So House Advantage is percentages. If you do the research and you look into it, there are some games that have better house advantage than others, meaning you can win more of your money back. It can be set up to where the house advantage is 99.9%, meaning the house, casino, is going to keep 99.9% of your money. And that's set by the Gaming Commission. It might be a little bit lower than that, I might be exaggerating, but that's kind of how that works. So if you take like blackjack, video game blackjack, house advantage there is like 98.7%, I think. So you can never only win that much back. right? They'll always get a percentage of your money. Here it is. Casino shops are great. If you're staying here, you need a last minute thing. But like I said, just be prepared to make a much bigger purchase. So we're gonna get the worst flavor of Powerade ever. Let's go see how much it is. Hi, how are you?
Right. $6.29.
$6.29. Thanks so much. $6.29. These are like 2 for $3 at CVS or Walgreens. Maybe a little bit more on the strip, but save yourself the money. Either bring it with or go somewhere else and get it. Very easy to take like an Uber, go to a Target or a Walmart or a gas station, buy a case of water, and just put it in your room. $6.29. Right. There's the Mirage. Right across the street, Walgreens. I'm gonna go see how much bottled water is in here. I'm gonna see if I can find the exact same thing. Alright, they don't have... Alright. They don't have Powerade, but they got Gatorade. Half the price. Half the price. And cases of water. Take it back to your hotel, throw it in there. Easy. Easy. Alright, so I accidentally found a scam I've been looking for, but I couldn't find one. And I wanted to get into some shade. And right over here by the garbage can, you see this gentleman, and that's a promoter. Now there's a lot of promoters in Vegas, but there's 2 specifically that you need to watch out for. That's 1 is club promoters, and 2 is timeshare promoters. Now the reason that these are considered scams is a lot of times what the timeshare promoters will do is that they will promise something, a small something, like a half an hour meeting or an hour meeting with food and some drinks, and ultimately what that turns into is like a 4-hour meeting with no food and maybe some water. And the club promoters, what they'll do is they'll overpromise stuff. So they'll tell you that you can get in for free, you can get some free drinks, you can get a VIP service, but oftentimes all it is just free entry, and it's before 11:30. So the club isn't really even popping off by that time. So you essentially need to spend the entire night there if you want to get the whole club experience. And then if you think about that, you're spending more and more time there, you're buying more drinks, and that racks up. All right, since I'm talking about drinks, that rolls us into our next scam. Drinks, especially inside casinos. You saw the Powerade, $6.29, double, maybe triple what the actual suggested price for it is. That doesn't go away once you get into the clubs.
Wow, this is pretty crowded.
Yeah, well, it's $9 beer night.
See what I mean? They aren't joking. You'd be paying $9, $10, $15 for a beer or a small mixed drink. It gets crazy. So what I suggest is stock up in your room. The scam I didn't see, which is unfortunate for the video, but pretty fortunate that maybe the Metro is clamping down on it, is the water sales scam. Now what this looks like is it's usually a guy with a cooler, usually on the overpasses between casinos or across Las Vegas Boulevard, and they're selling water for $1. Now it seems like a really great deal, but people will buy water for themselves, they will drink it, and they will save the bottles, or they will dig through recycles and they will take the bottles out of the recycles. If you're not cringing yet, ugh. You figured it out? Do you know where I'm going? Yeah, they refill the bottles with their tap water you will give them the $1, and then they will open the bottle for you, so you can't really see like the seal's been cracked, or that like the plastic ring that's supposed to hold the cap on hasn't already been broken. So if you see those people, do not buy that water. Don't do it. One, it hurts businesses. Two, you might be getting like super Rona or something. All right, folks, that is it. I am headed home. Those are the 16 scams that you need to avoid when you are here in Vegas. I'm sure people can think of a lot more. They might not even say that these are scams, but some of them are kind of just like ways that businesses take advantage of tourists that are here, with disposable income. So, you can take it all with a grain of salt. If you like it, right here, click them. Click that thumb. Give me one of these. Click that subscribe. And ring that bell. Ding dong. Ding dong. Okay? You guys don't want to miss what I have coming up. And I want to just give you guys some really great content that people find great. Did I just do that? Anyway, cheers. Stay healthy.